Okay, so I forgot to mention something though, and I need to include this real quick, is you can actually animate if you're using shapes as to mask. So let me get rid of these two circles real quick. So if you're using shapes to mask objects, then you can select these shapes and you can animate their paths. And so okay. Stroke, opacity, line cap. You can animate any of these values that have a stopwatch next to them. Okay. And so there you can animate it. Okay. So let me create a like say a custom path real quick, and we'll use that. So I'm going to create a new shapes layer. Shape layer 3. And I'm going to switch to my pen tool, and I'm going to trace an object. Let's I don't know, we'll trace this plate of cookies. So if I click and drag and hold down shift, these handles will be locked to increments of 45 degrees. That's a bad click. We'll use it anyway. And then I'll finish this up. Okay, so let's say that was my tracing of the plate. Now, let me delete this rectangle layer. And you can see that this red circle is going to disappear behind that. But I can also animate this shape. So if I go to Contents, Shape 1, there's this Path attribute. Okay? And then Path. And I can key that. So all I have to do is click on the stopwatch, and it sets a key. Then I could navigate to some frame later on, and I can move these points around. Except I'm forgetting the tool. Yeah, so I could change it up. Why am I forgetting stuff all of a sudden? I just did this today. Okay. Yeah, there we are. So you had to select an edge first, and then you can click and move it. Anyway, so now it's animated between those 2 points, and the shape is actually changing. So if you were trying to mask out something that was moving, then you could animate these points. Okay? And it will automatically key those differences. And you can know that it's keying the difference because it adds a little diamond to the timeline on the path attribute. And therefore you can continue to mask it out. So if I hide this, switch to my selection and move tool, then this object is going to, at least it's partially disappeared right now. It's also, the mask is animated. So you can see how the masking is animated. Okay, so that's really the final thing you need to know to be able to accomplish this. Okay, there are effects you can do to these layers, like you can blur them and do all kinds of things. And to further manipulate the mask or the matte. But I'll leave that up to you guys to figure out, or we'll talk about it one-on-one basis.